Hello.
Hello. Good evening and welcome. Hope everybody's having a good evening and has a good weekend. So we probably haven't got anybody just yet, but it don't matter. We'll rabble on till we do.
We do, yeah.
I'll just stop my screen up actually so I can see it a bit better. There we go. There we go. But yeah, it's been a quiet week this week again for me anyway.
It has, yeah. Well, it's been a busy week at school, but there you go.
I thought they'd have been off. There's
No, it
some
was
at
last
school
week.
being yeah, yeah, some being off up here. But yes, anyway, tonight we talk about tarot and things. What's that? Oh, TikTok. I'm sick of getting TikTok. I don't use it. I do not use it. I've never used it, but I'm
No, I
constantly
don't.
getting TikTok. And just this last week, it's as if there's somebody talking to me because it seems to be quite relevant what they're saying. It says my my logo, and then it'll be a message as if it's personal to me, and when it's not, it's crackers. I think I've got a reflection of my TV in window as well. Just a sec, turn that off. That's it. It's gone. Is it? It's gone. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just see your phone in your glasses now.
Me gigs. I need them. I can't. I'm blind as a bat these days, Artem. Close up I am anyway. I can see distance, but I can't see close up at all. Blurred out. But yes, so tarot. There's many different types. They come under certain categories, but there's that many in each category. My deck, the deck I've always used, it shows me is there, and it's called the answer deck. It's an everyday picture with everyday word. They're black and white. There's no color to them whatsoever, apart from the cards themselves. They're quite a small deck. They're not these great big things that you can't fit in your hands. They're smaller than a normal set of cards,
Yeah.
but they work well. They've served me really well. In all the 20 years I've been using them, I think I've had less than an handful of bad readings. So that's a pretty good record, that. Well, I think so anyway. So I do use them as a medium. Because anybody that is a medium or a psychic that's got the abilities, you can do rostrum work, but I prefer tarot because I'm not confident. I'm told I'm good at it, but I'm not confident at it. So to use tarot as a medium in its own right, you've got a bargaining chip in that respect. You can reassure people saying that it's cards and you can swap a card and change your card. And if they get people's getting a bit uptight, you can reassure them through cards
Yeah.
rather than coming straight from your mind and straight from your mouth and upsetting people. Because nobody wants to do that, or you shouldn't do that. Let's put it that way. But it happens, doesn't it? It happens. So my deck is called the answer deck, and you prefer to use
I've got the Angel Therapy Oracle cards.
as there's Oracle, there's the Fortune decks, which mine do actually come under that category, but they don't work that way, not with me anyway. It's past, present, and future. That's how mine works. So the last two cards, the first few cards I'll turn over, it gives me an insight into a person's background, what
Yeah.
type of the person they are, what type of background or upbringing that they've had. And then you get to present, where the life is now, and probably what they're wanting to ask me, but they don't. And that gives me then an into the future and an outcome card. The absolute beauty about my cards is there's a get out clause. So if you don't like what the cards are telling you and the way that your life's going, you can actually change it. I tell most people that I don't have to with some people, but with most, I'll tell. It's like if you have cornflakes for your breakfast every morning religiously,
Yeah.
just have porridge. The next day after the reading, just have porridge. It changes the direction of which way your life's going. And it is as simple as that. It's like a branches on a tree. You're on this direction, on this path. So you change it. The next morning, you set off on that one. And it's as simple as that. And that can change your fortune. It can change your life. Because it's like going down a bad path, isn't it? Down a bad road. Turn around, go down another road, take that opposite fork. And there is that one in here, I think. Well, I know there is. There's 56 cards, so there we go. Dropped on it. That one. It's take a different path. Choose a different path. Which I think is it's simple, but it's precise. It's exactly what you're wanting to hear, really, isn't it? And the other beauty about it, because these work on a mat, you don't have to go down the route of pen and paper and describing everything and writing it out and taking all that away. Simply take a picture with your phone of the mat with the cards on it, and you can read your tarot forever.
Yeah.
Because you've got a record of your reading because it's on a mat. So, anywho, we should have some comments by now, surely.
We haven't.
If it's gone on.
We haven't.
We haven't got nobody.
No.
My God, it's not gone out then, has it? Can't have.
Yeah, it's because I've checked.
Right. I'm really surprised at that. Really surprised. I thought we'd have a few tonight, but never mind. It is what it is. I shall wait till we do get some, if we get some. Before I mention or give a demonstration, or give a one-carder.
A one-carder.
A one-carder. There's no point doing it if there's nobody there, is there? I can't believe that. Nobody there.
I'm just sorting through mine. Some of them are upside down.
Yeah.
I've only used these about 3 times, but
I'll use these today. But that's the other beauty about them, because they've got a Chinese dragon on it. You can see which way they need to be. I never intended on ever buying a pack, but I went into the shop and I went for something else, and I just got drawn to these, and it was just the fact that I had applied for another job, and I thought, then do I accept the job? And of course, it was completely different to what I've done for years. I was maintenance for an electronics company, so I did all the machinery, vehicles, jig making, tool making, you name it, property repairs. And I'd applied for a job to go to school doing maintenance, and I wasn't sure whether it was the right thing to do, but then I picked the card and it helped the children. So that's the card I got. So I think that was a bit direct to the point. Definitely. And I've done that. I've done that myself.
But look. Hello, Facebook user.
Hello, we have a guest.
We have
Greetings. Now that sounds like a Southey comment, but we can't tell, can we? No, can't we tell?
we cannot tell.
Oh my gosh, what's happening? Would you like to tell us who you are, please?
And where you're from?
Yes. And do you like tarot?
It's William.
I thought it was. See? You get to know people's comments and how they talk, don't you? And that's just through text. Well, I do anyway. Seem to have a knack of being able to, know people's text or speak in Old English. It would be called speak.
I'm
But
very
yes,
surprised that Eric and Rita aren't on.
I am, really am.
Is something happening in the US we don't know about?
Well, I know they're still having bad winds, and in some places it's floods in it. So there's a lot going off, isn't there? Plus, there might be a lot still either peeved or pissed from the celebrations.
Well, yeah.
I don't know about your opinion, but mine is that I think Trumpy, I mean, I don't like him as a person. But he's straight. He's straight John Bull, and he will do the country proud, because there were more growth while Trump were in than there had been for years. And as soon as they kicked him out, that country went downhill for me. It's time to come back out at doldrums, really. There's a lot of people suffering in USA, as they are around the world, but I think he'll sort it out. He'll make USA prosperous again. That's just my opinion, as usual.
Well, yeah, I mean, can't really voice an opinion. Well, as I said to somebody today, I mean, I'm not political at all, but he might not be the right person to be president, but he might be the right person right now.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he actually is. I think, like I said, he's going to do the country proud. That's all he's had on his agenda, is to give the people, a fair shake.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. He's not someone I trust with a barge pole.
And he would tell you the same from his, because I do look at people's bios, shall we say, and in business they were cutthroat, ruthless, but that's what got him where he got.
Yeah,
it's not the same sort of job, but that ruthlessness is a good trait to have in the job that he's got, because he can cut through the bullshit.
We have another Facebook user.
Good evening. Would you like to tell us who you are? Because for some reason it's not coming up.
Yeah, we're not getting names tonight.
I don't know, unless I clicked them out wrong, but we'll I'm sure that you'll remedy it. I'm not the tech guy, as everybody knows. So.
Well, perhaps it's Facebook.
Yeah.
So, hello to whoever you are, as we don't know who you are yet.
It is slow, isn't it? It's been slow for weeks and weeks. But I think it's because it's not Facebook as such, is it? It's transition from Facebook to Meta. So they're implementing a lot of their ways, and a lot of your apps are not working like they should. But they'll sort it out. They will sort it out. I think it's in New Year when a lot of new legislation's coming. All right. Good evening, Noreen.
Hello, Noreen. Yeah.
It's tarot. We were talking about. Well, we're not, but we are when you want to.
I mean, I was I was saying, I mean, I've been in the paranormal field for a very long time, but I was very skeptical of mediums. Funny enough, skeptical of mediums, even though I grew up in a family that had them.
Yeah.
I was specific. I was basically one myself when I was younger. But I was very skeptical because I did realise there were those who were cold readers, etc., etc. And I was very skeptical of tarot cards. But within a short period of time, I had I think it was over a space of 9 months, I had my cards read 3 times. And all 3 times, I shuffled the deck, I split the pack, and I picked the pile. And all the cards were exactly the same each time.
Yeah.
And
it's surprising.
It was apart from something that, in each step there was something that had changed slightly. And then, of course, I met up with mediums who blew my mind, and the rest is history. But there you go. I mean, the likes of Barry John read me. I can't believe the stuff he came out with. But he knew stuff I didn't even know. I had to check.
Yeah, and you see, me being a natural as well, I can't switch it on and switch it off. I'm trying, and I've got better at it, but it's like some people click with me and some people don't, and I have to work at it with the people that don't. I've got to go through the whatever.
Mythology.
That's the one. That's the one. I've got to do it that way with a lot of people. Whereas sometimes, like I've done it with you, I did it with Josh the other week. Sometimes people they just jump in. Eric's same. I've done it with Eric at times where there's just messages. I call them messages for people. And when it's flowing, it's flowing.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling. There's other times when I am struggling. But I have to tell people that, and that's another reason why I use the cards, because it helps me connect. Because the way that these work, being on a mat, as I say, I shuffle them first to what they call neutralize them. Then I pass that deck to whoever I'm reading for. They connect with that deck, shuffle them, and they place them. I don't. They place them on the mat. All I do then is turn them over and interpret them. And I think that's why they've been so accurate, because it's the person I'm reading for, it's their story.
I'm guessing this is Eric now. I'm guessing this is Eric because he's the only person who say I'm here.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're late. That's unusual, that.
And if it is you, Eric, we can't tell who you are because for some unknown reason, everyone's called Facebook user with no picture.
Which we're not sure why. Well, I ain't got a clue anyway, but it'd be something that my tech guy's ears not pressed to something.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not me. Because
Well,
I wasn't anything different to what I'd done last week or when I was doing it with Viv.
Yeah.
It's obviously the translation from Facebook to here.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I have noticed, though. The audio's been a lot better.
Yeah.
We went through that phase where, it was echoey, it was behind and all sorts, weren't it? It was booming, and it's very true. At the moment, it's quite good. It's very true. It has been for the last few weeks, which is fine and dandy. But yes, tonight we are talking about tarot, if you're not up to it. But yes, this is my deck.
Hey. Rita's on the ball. She's actually told us straight away.
Yeah.
Hi, Rita.
Good evening, Rita. Nice to see you. Well, not see you, but I hear tell that you was on a show the other week and I missed it. Yeah, she came on a show. She showed her face. So we'll have to get you both on one day and chat.
Yeah. Oh, Eric's saying face is not showing names again. So
Yeah,
it's not the first time then. Okay.
yeah. Well, there you go. It doesn't matter. As I say, I got the first one spot on, didn't I? So sometimes, as I say, you don't really need it. It's how people text. You can tell how some people text, the differences, the subtle nuances. They do vary. But yes, this is my deck, and it's different. It's very, very different. It's very accurate. So if anybody fancies just a card, just give us a shout and I'll pick one out for you.
Yeah, and this would be my deck, which is the Angel Therapy Oracle cards. But I've only used it, as I said, I've only used them a few times. Only when I need to.
Yeah, I have noticed though that most decks seem to be absolutely massive, and for some reason these are like on miniature. But it's a bloody good deck.
Yeah, the smaller ones would be easier to shuffle, wouldn't
they? Yeah, a lot easier. And there's quite a lot of them. That's what I'm saying. When you think about it, because they're not that thick. Look.
There you go.
Wafer thin. So there's loads there to go up.
There you go. You've got a customer.
Okay. Let's have a look. I was shuffle. And I shall take top card. Ah! And I actually knew it was going to be that one. But there you go.
It's funny we were talking about that one.
It is. And it's popped straight up when I shuffled them. It is decision-making time, Noreen. Stop judgment. It's judgment and decision-making, which means you need to make your mind up which direction you're going. Because you've been ifing and butting for a while. You need to make that decision. Make that judgment. Hope that makes sense.
Hello, Lorna. Oh, we have a YouTube viewer.
Yeah.
Who we can actually see who it is.
That's weird, isn't it? That is weird.
Yeah.
Evening, Lorna. So yes, tonight we're doing tarot. I wasn't going to do readings as such, but I will. I'll do a card. I'm feeling all right with it tonight, so I'll do a card.
It's like a game of Snap, someone says. And I guess this is Noreen. She says it does. Does love. Thank you. There you go. Look at that.
You're welcome. As I say, I mean, I don't publicize that side of the gift that I've got very often, so it makes a change to be able to do it. I may start doing it a little bit more often, but I mean, as you know, I have got the gift because there's times where we've had that conversation where you've needed some advice and what have you, and I'm always there for my friends. If I can help.
As you know, the longer I've been in the paranormal field, it's handy to have mediums on, that you can quickly give a call to, because one thing I've noticed, when you're in usually if I walk into a place, I can pick up what's going on. But when it's here, different ball game.
Yeah.
When you're in your own house, it's a bit less easier to pick up on what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. It's I find it actually easier with people I don't know because I can tend to second guess with people that I do, and
Yeah.
that's something you shouldn't do. Yes, we are,
We're
Lorna.
talking everything tarot.
All related. I mean, you know yourself, we always go down there. Yeah,
Many rabbit holes. Yeah.
Still got over half an hour, Lorna.
She says, sorry she's a bit late. And
not
do you want yes/no questions, or do we ask for a card? Well, you can ask for a card.
Yeah, you can have a card, or we can try and give you the yes no. My deck will work that way as well because it's an answer deck, so it will work that way. I'll still pick a card out and tell you yes or no, but it's entirely up to you. Good evening.
Good evening, whoever you may be, as Facebook's given us your names.
As you come in, let us know who you are, please. We can't see you with us.
Oh, have a bit of confidence. I have only used my cards 3 times, but the answers have always been spot on.
What cards were you using, Lorna? Because sometimes and did you pick the cards or did they seem to pick you? Because I will always advocate.
Yeah,
right.
I used to be like that until I started going out with mediums, and then I started working out what I was picking up.
Yeah.
Once you got somebody there that can explain to you, right, what you're sensing now, it's this. Then you begin to work it out because people sense things slightly differently. So if you go in with somebody else who can pick things up and knows what they're picking up, you can work out how you pick those things up.
That's actually brought me to a little bit of an analogy there, Ian, because I have had the question before: can anybody use tarot? The answer to that is a little bit in what you've just said. Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. It depends on what clairs you possess.
Yeah.
As a clairvoyant, you can be clairaudient, clairsentient, all the different clairs, but there are some that's better than others. They are more conducive to using cards than others. So, depending on what clairs you possess, either use cards or don't. I mean, some people are more prone to rostrum work that do it straight to an audience. I can do that. I much prefer to use tarot as a go-between because if, like you said, you're a bit unsure, it gives you more confidence to be able to use them cards as a go-between.
It's like me, for instance. Although I rarely use tarot cards, I get a stronger connection off of pendulums.
Yeah.
And a very, very strong connection because my pendulum will go round quite strongly.
Yeah.
And I can usually tell who's on the end of it by the way it moves.
Yeah. Oh, right.
You sorting out Lorna a card? Yeah.
And there it is. Justice. So it can mean many things to many people, obviously, but the justice I feel in your case is just a decision. Again, it's just a decision. Was you right to make that decision? And it's saying there to me anyway, to my senses, is yes, you were right. So I hope that makes sense to you. I don't want to say too much, you see. We've been on a podcast. You don't want everybody hearing it, do you? It's I much prefer to do one-to-one. So and I'm used to that confidentiality.
She's saying Morgan Greer, which I guess is her deck.
Yes, right. I'm not familiar with that one. Is it an Oracle set, Angel set, or is it like mine, an answer deck? I'm not sure what sort of deck it is, because they all work slightly different, as I said, and they do work to your personality, and I think that's why there is so many. And people, well, I will advocate that a deck picks you. Evening, Nicola.
Yeah, now we know who you are.
I would advocate that a deck chooses you. So how does that work? Because you go into a shop and you're drawn to a deck, aren't you? So I would say it's the deck that pulls the strongest.
Yeah. Well, have you got them upside down there, Rick?
I think that's it's because you haven't tuned them properly, Eric.
Yeah, don't forget you want to tap them first, because any energy they've picked up from manufacturing and people handling them, you want to get that out of them before you start.
Exactly. Thank you, Lorna. Good. I'm glad. See, this is what I mean. Some people are seeing this side of me for the first time, because I don't normally do this. So,
yeah. What if your reading tells you to go back?
Yeah, you have to be in proper frame of mind. You've got to balance yourself out. You've got to do. I would suggest to you, Eric, to balance your chakras. Learn to balance your chakras before you use them, and you will get a totally different reading from them. You really will, because you're being drawn to certain cards, and it's your personality that's coming through them. Try to use them for other people, not yourself, because it does draw on your personality. And if your personality is very much like a woe is me, no, I can't put that one, not a woe is me, but on the negative side, always seeing the bad side of things, that's what's going to reflect, shall we say.
Yeah.
If you balance your chakras and clear your mind, literally clear your mind, so that you're not thinking good or bad, you're on a neutral playing field, you'll get totally different readings. You'll be surprised as well, just how different they are. So I hope that helps.
Oh, yeah. You hold them in your hand, Lorna, and just tap them on the table. Yeah, don't tap the pack. Actually, have them physically in your hand and bang them on the table.
Yeah, and again, I think I think that depends on what type of cards you're using, because because if you're using elemental cards, then yes, they do need contact, like crystals do, with different elements. So that's how you charge them. You'll tap them and things like that. Whereas mine really need to be in contact. It's only because I am a medium that I can use them remotely. Normally, to get the best reading, if you think they're good readings for a one carder, then you want to have a proper reading, because it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, if it's only you that's using them, and once you've got any old energy out, once it's you using them, you don't have to do that. But if you hand them to other people to do, it has to be done every time, doesn't it?
Well, exactly, and this is what I'm saying. My deck, I hand my deck to the person I'm reading for, and they place the cards. They're connecting with my deck and telling me their story. All I'm doing is interpreting it for them. Yeah, I know, but this is why I'm saying that to use your chakras is a good way to balance that out. It would help your condition as well. You'd be surprised, because it's that cup half full attitude. It gives you that cup half full attitude, not cup half empty, if you get what I'm saying. It just gives you that mentality to be able to deal with things. So it's really good. Yeah, yeah. Well, I actually class myself as a psychic, Lorna, an environmental psychic at that. I'm like Ian, that I connect with buildings and areas and geology a hell of a lot, and I can get the history of a place by connecting with it. You know, like you've seen people place hands on a stone or the arch of a church and things like that. I get visions from that. So I class myself more as a psychic than a medium, but everyone else tells me, because I use tarot and I've done rostrum work, that I'm a pretty good medium as well. It's not a title I prescribe myself to be, but others do, so I'll take it. But yeah, per se, me, I do tarot and I do massage therapy and Reiki. I'm a qualified Reiki practitioner. So there you go.
Yeah, it is also fascinating, which is why we're in the paranormal field.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And I
Once
do
you get a
private
bite for it,
investigations. Yeah, I do private investigations, and I also do just, as I call it, for shits and giggles, going out empty buildings and one thing or another. We'll save that conversation for another discussion, because I have got quite strong views on investigating. The 90% of people that go out to these paid venues, I don't subscribe to. Unfortunately, I don't. I think there are a lot of them's contrived. There is places, if you are a good medium, that you can get some benefit from them evenings, but I don't subscribe to the payment side of things. I think yeah, it's not right to me. I'd much prefer to do things for free, but it's just my opinion again. It's a fascinating field. I mean, I've been in this field, and
it's on the intro. It's on the intro. 40 years.
yeah, a long time, a long time.
Well, I've been in it 30, but I've lived it my whole life, basically. But
Yeah, well, I have. From what I call waking up at 9 year old, I've been sane, and I'm in my 60s, so it's a long, long time. But actively, as we know paranormal today, the field that it's become, I suppose you could say I've been in it since 90s in that respect. Doing the podcasting is very, very recent to me. It's not something that I ever did. I were only introduced to it a couple of years ago. So
yeah, I mean, you were very much like me. We were guys working in the background of the paranormal field.
yeah,
And, as it is, when you're in the paranormal field, eventually you become known, and that's just the way it is these
yeah,
days. Yeah, yeah. You can't be in the paranormal field and not get known by people.
exactly. What you said there, Lorna, is you love the smells of old buildings and wood and stone and that, but that's the natural side of it. What about the paranormal side of it? Because sometimes places initially can be quite nice, quite pleasant, and then when the paranormal shows up, those places, for our senses, it's overwhelming because they can be nasty, horrible, sulfur and wind smells, it can be horrible. And then as quickly as it's come, it can go. But it indicates to us what type of an entity or spirit is present by those senses. So it is fascinating. There's so many different genres to it.
Oh, however, your family's also interested in this. Mine
Right.
is. I didn't find out until, well, it was probably 15, 20 years ago that this is something that runs in my family. And it's always been paranormal and the family have always been side by side. But That's for my immediate. My wife's fairly interested in it. She enjoys the fact I bring stuff home sometimes. So, but yeah, my granddaughter's also got the gift, and she's egging me to do her friend's family lives in a farmhouse nearby. She's egging me to go round there because that's quite active, and she wants it to be her first investigation. So,
Do it. I'd say do it.
oh yeah, I
Whatever.
plan to do it, but
Yeah.
I'm not so sure. She's going to be quite prepared for what might happen. But
Yeah.
there you go.
And I find from my story, from where I started, 9-year-old, it was vivid. And children seem to be the most sensitive because their innocence. The word innocent it's well founded in paranormal because the more innocent you are, the more vivid your visions and your senses will be. You tend to lose it the older you get. So to keep it at my age, I'm doing all right. But I started at 9. I didn't know any knowledge, background, or anything like that. It weren't until not long before my mother passed away. She told me that we had quite a famous, what's the word back then? Fortune teller, I suppose. That's what they were classed as or billed as. But that was a great grandma. They used to come from America to have the tea leaves and palms read and one thing or another, which I didn't know about, as I said, till quite late in my life. And so, yes, it does run in the family, but it can skip generations. In my own little family, I have 2 children that are sensitive, and the other 2 are not a jot.
Yeah.
So it can skip. It can skip. So yeah, it is. Again, it's fascinating. What's that one?
So, oh well, an investigation with your granddaughter. Yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah.
Just like you, my daughter has got no senses at all, but my granddaughter, very in tune. I mean, when she was 2 or 3, she was having conversation with my dead uncle, and getting information that there's no way in hell she would have known. But yeah, she's just she's just left school, so I think she's at an age now where it may be the right time to start teaching her a few things.
Yeah, and it's my daughter that's sensitive with me.
Yeah, and she can take it or leave it if she wants to when she starts seeing what the investigative side of it's like. But
exactly, I've never forced my kids or out like that, but the benefit that they've got that I didn't have is I'm willing to answer the questions and give them insight into it and how to carry on if they want to do it. But I never had that. I had to bumble my way through it all and learn it.
It'll actually make a difference to go on an investigation with her rather than investigating on something that she's seen in the house. So,
yeah. Which I've done. I've taken my daughter out, and we've even experimented at times and communicated psychically from one building to another, which I thought were absolutely brilliant. What's that one?
That one's for you. 9-year-old, were you scared? I guess that one's for you.
Weirdly enough, no, not initially, because the visions were so profound. It was like me talking to another person. I have mentioned this before, but it's worth mentioning again. I went for a walk. I was 9-year-old. I was looking for birds' nests, looking to nick some eggs like we did back in the day. It wasn't taboo back then. And I alighted on this little old fella sat on a bench at side of the road, and I proceeded to ask him where best birds' nests were, and if he'd seen this and if he'd seen that, and we're having a good chat. And then out of the corner of my eye, I saw another little fella walking up the road, and I literally turned to look, and when I looked back, there was nobody sat there. Now, yes, it took me by surprise, and I ran home and I said it to my mother, and she, like she always said, "Shut up, you barn pot, you're imagining things." And as I say, it weren't till later in life that she told me that, no, actually, I weren't. I says, "But it's too late, I already know now." I said, "But if you'd have told me then, I wouldn't have, thought I were crackers." No,
Nah,
it doesn't.
no,
These days.
exactly. I never worked.
Um,
I never quite understood how that worked anyway.
I'll tell you how it works, and it it is one of those things that you really, really do have to be a sensitive, because it's like reading ink blots.
Right.
Like the old ink blots when you had to go to see a shrink or all like that, and you say, "What can you see?" Well, it's exactly the same analogy. You see pictures and what have you. It's like psychometry. When you're doing tea leaves, it's a bit more like psychometry. So what you see is what you get, basically, with tea leaves. And it could be nothing to most people. But that sensitive brain will connect and make a picture out of it. That's how they work.
She's saying that's priceless. I'm happy she has you to talk open it. Well, I'm not the only one in the family. My mother is very in tune as well. So yeah, she. I mean, it's funny because I was a crystal child, what they class as a crystal child. I was born in that era. My granddaughter also is. She's a modern day one, and she had started collect because you always know because they start collecting stones and polishing them up, and so I started buying her crystals, and she's got a very rare collection, which has, over the years has cost me quite a lot of money. But
Yeah. Well, there's one thing about that as well, Ian. If you examine which ones are her favourites, it will
yeah,
tell you what element she is, and then you can work on that and give her a better advice than the invaluable information that you're already giving her. You can actually tailor it to her element.
ah,
So,
that's good to
yeah,
know.
yeah. But I don't know what it is. Well, I don't know if it's actually at your side, Ian, but every now and again I keep getting a right high pitch. It works its way up in pitch.
That might
And
be
if
my
it,
washing machine in the distance.
ah, that'll be it then. Yeah. I'm sensitive to high pitch. I've heard dog whistles before, and folks say, "You can't hear that." I say, I can. Yeah, I work on high frequency. I can't hear low range. I'm bad with low range, and again, it's like eyesight. Some people are good at other way around. Yes, I thought so. I'm not hearing it.
Nah,
Do it again now.
I'm just testing your hearing. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm very observant, and I think that's where you've got to be as well. That makes a good investigator, and it also makes a good psychic if you're very, very observant. No, never overreact. Always stay calm, or try to stay calm, even when you've got
Well,
something, you know,
it's not
breathing
always it's not always possible, but yeah.
But yeah, if anybody needs any
Yeah,
advice on how to carry on, we're
especially
always happy to help.
especially not when you're walking around Warwick Castle and all you can see is night vision of your camera, and you come face to face with a mannequin.
Yes.
Yeah, that will certainly make you go back a few steps. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
What kind of pendulum? I've got a clear quartz pendulum with a silver chain.
And I had a rose quartz and it disappeared. I had a cloudy quartz and I've had a rose quartz. I seem to find it better vibrational wise.
I
It
always
depends.
get drawn to clear quartz.
Yeah. It depends what you're using them for and what frequency you tend to work on. Clear quartz, I reckon that would definitely suit you, because that again is high vibrational, what they call high vibrational.
Yeah, it amplifies positivity, doesn't it?
It does, but it's also high, which you need when you're trying to suss what type of entity or spirit you've got with you.
Yeah.
Rose quartz it's a loving, warm quartz. It's still vibrational, but it's slightly lower. It's like a hum instead of a screech. That's the only way I can explain it.
I've just got a thin chain with a ring on the end. Yeah, that works.
What ring on the end is it? What ring is it? Because it will always tell you what type of vibrations you're going to pick up from it.
A funny thing, that little trick that people used to do on you, if you put one of your own rings on a gold chain, it will tell you how many children you've got. That always, I've never understood how that always worked until I started using pendulums. Then I understood it, but it was always right.
Yeah, it's connection. That's what it is. It's connection. Yeah.
Do either of us use dowsing rods? I never have, to be honest.
I have, and I've used both type. And you'll say both type? Well, yeah, there is more than one, but again, it's elements. Like me and Ian have got this belief and understanding of frequencies. Everything works on a frequency. Well, if you imagine a radio picks up frequencies, but you can have FM, AM, long wave, short wave. They all work on a different vibrational note, a different frequency. So if you apply that to anything even paranormal, using dowsing rods, you can pick up different levels of vibration. So some are used to divine for water, like hazel rods. Your wooden divining rods usually are used to define elements of the earth and water. Metal rods pick up magnetism and ley lines more than anything else. So, and frequencies like radio waves, they'll pick that up as well. But again, different elements for different uses. So I hope that makes sense. And yeah, I've used them both.
Yeah, Laura says she uses a thin gold ring.
Right. Yeah. Well, gold is believe it or not, it's igneous. So yeah, to Mother Earth and to the sun, it's brilliant.
She says you haven't found a crystal pendulum that I really like. Yeah, well, you'll be drawn to it.
Yeah, I'll give you one little bit of advice, because you do ooze what's the word, emotion. So I would say a mood ring or a mood stone would work really well for you. Visually, you'd see the benefit of it as well, visually, because they do obviously change color. So you'd be able to tell a lot more from it. So I would get a mood stone put on a chain.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, there are if you go on the internet, even in the paranormal field, there's a lot of people that make up pendulums in that, and you could get one custom made, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Mood stone.
Exactly. Exactly. And I would suggest it being square, believe it or not.
Square?
Yes. In Lorna's case.
My pendulum's sort of diamond, long, like a stretched out diamond shape.
Yeah. My last, the rose quartz one, I don't, well, I'm going to do anyway, because it's me in it. It was more like a butt plug shape. But that's what it was. My cloudy quartz was more that like a long diamond. For lack of a better explanation. There's probably a shape name for it, but I'm rubbish with things like that. So
Yeah, I've always as well. I don't know how true it is, but I've always, if mine crack, I instantly throw them away.
yeah, that's again. It depends on. I examine the crack in it, to be honest with you, as well, because depending on where it's cracked, it
Yeah.
can actually make it better. But in most cases, you're correct. No, you should discard it. And
Yeah,
or
I know if it's got natural cracks in it when it's done, they're fine. But if it cracks when, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's that's being attacked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
need to cleanse it. You need to cleanse it.
It would explain that because one of the cases I was doing when it did crack, yeah, they wouldn't have liked the fact I had that crystal. But there you go.
Exactly. But you can reshape them. You can cleanse them, shall we say?
Well,
But,
I threw mine in the ground and stamped it in so it was grounded.
Yeah, good result.
And left it there.
Have we got any more questions? My God, it's flown.
It has flown, hasn't it?
Yeah. Have we got any more questions, or anybody want a card before we go?
We've got a few minutes left before we go, so.
I was panicking a bit because at one point we got nobody, and then we got a few coming all at once, didn't we? So it's all good. That's if anybody's still there. If we haven't bored them to death.
Yeah, we have a couple of minutes left, so if anyone wants Bri to draw them out a card, go for it.
Yeah, because Ian's a chicken. He ain't done anything here.
Yeah, Lorna says, I really enjoyed this.
Well, I'm glad. Join us again. Yeah, we always have a good natter, don't we?
Okay. Eric says, pull him a card.
Right. Shall have a look. I should have known that one, shouldn't I, really? I should have known that. But I'm sorry, Eric. I've been the troubleshooter for you tonight. This is me. Per grade, man. So that's me, and I've troubleshooted for you tonight. So the advice I've given you, I would just suggest take it. Cleanse your system, use your chakras, because you need it. You've been having trouble with your medication, I think, as well. It's been a bit missing it. So, Maisha, that could be you as well. Not taking it when you should, you bugger.
Yeah, we got awesome live. I liked it. Thank you. As not sure which one of you are, but thanks very much. Nori says she's still here.
Yeah, good night.
Is Lorna says, what card is it for Eric?
It was me, fair grade man. I already gave him a little bit of advice, so it's just reassuring him that what I've said is true. So he needs to do what I've suggested, basically, and use his chakras, balance himself out before he uses his cards and one thing or another, because it is something that you like or you would like to be able to do more of. So that's what he's suggesting. If you want to do more of it and make more of them, do that and stop reading yourself so much. Read other people, because that's what they're there for.
Yeah. It's it's not a, what can I say? It's not a done thing to read yourself, is it? Because when I first started with a pendulum, it does become addictive. Because I was asking all sorts of questions. It got to a point where I realised, well, hang on a minute, I'm not living my life. I'm getting other people to make the decisions. So I stopped doing that.
Yeah.
So I will only use the pendulum on rare occasions when I need an answer, or I'm at an investigation and I need answers. I very rarely use it for myself now. So
yeah, confirmation. And what I would say to you as well is look a little bit more closer at it when you're doing it, because it will, although you know it's vibrating, you can't hear it, but you will actually see it. It will change color. So have a light on it, a constant light, and notice the difference when it changes. And that'll give you, again, the vibration at what it's vibrating at. And you know yourself, the higher it is, the more pure a spirit is, the lower it is, the more dangerous a spirit is. If you know what I'm saying, it's like the thunder and lightning thing. So,
and like I was saying with you know, after a while you begin to realise who, if you have spirits that are associated with you, like family members, you learn to know which one's on it by how the crystal moves. And my uncle, it will only go to one side. It will actually tilt up.
Yeah. And also spinning, you can get an idea on an age of a spirit, because if it spins fast, it's quite young. It's a quite young spirit, and the slower it's spinning.
I also have one relative that it looks like they're flicking it, because as it's going round, it all it looks like they're flicking it.
It's a toy. Yeah, it's a toy sometimes. Anywho,
right,
we've gone past this time.
Well, it's time to go. So thank you very much for joining us. And don't forget to check out the Simply Spooky Network for shows that are going on for the rest of the week. I think there's one on every night.
Practically, yeah.
They're a good bunch.
They are.
And,
they've got us on.
So thank you for coming, and we'll see you all next time.
Yeah, see you next Friday.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.